Okay, welcome everybody back to Steve Talks Boxing X, STBX. This is our special edition. Welcome to Round Up with Darren January edition show. This show we're going to be looking at the highlights of this past month of January, and of course joining me is Darren Aston. Welcome back, Darren.
Cheers, Steve. Great to be back on again.
Yeah, glad and pleased you're back. Obviously, January been quite an eventful month, so I think we've got quite a bit to talk about and go through.
Yeah, definitely.
Good. First question for you, Darren. Obviously, start of the year, we've had some new fight schedules announcements from Matchroom and Queensberry. What do you think of any sort of outstanding matchups on them announcements?
I think the Sheffield card that Eddie Earn has recently announced is a banger of a card, to be honest, with Dalton Smith and Zepeda. And you've got Terry Harper against Sandy Ryan, another great fight. Campbell Hatton's also on the card, going for his first area title. I think fantastic card.
Yeah, a lot of feedback I heard that, even Harper and Ryan could headline that on its own, they were saying.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, Dalton Smith, obviously, he's a big star in Sheffield. And like I say, I've said already this to people, that it's a great step up for him, really. Zepeda's, definitely no mug, and it is definitely his biggest step up to date, and I'm expecting a real good fight.
Yeah.
Should be explosive as well, you'd like to think.
Yeah. I don't think that's going points. I don't think that one.
No, I wouldn't say so. Not at all, no.
What do you think of Queensberry's schedule?
I love the March show in Birmingham. I'll be going to that one.
Oh, awesome!
And I'm pleased with the show. I mean,
yeah.
If you look at the main event's a good fight. Nice to see Zach Parker back again. McCann versus Strand, I expect to be a very good fight. And I'm hoping that Dacres versus Adelaide is made, because that's the plan to do on the card. But they've said that Adelaide, they've got to wait for all his to see what happens with what he done in Saudi with pushing the referee. So we're waiting to see what happens, whether he can fight on that card. But that is the plan, to do that fight. I'm fingers crossed that happens on that card, because I'm really excited for it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's certainly add to it. I was looking at the card and I was thinking probably the worst fight on there, and it's not even that bad. Well, some fans may think it's bad. You know what I'm going to say is Joe Joyce against Cash Ali is probably. Come on, give him a break. He just got knocked out by Zhang, so he needs a comeback fight.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing is, right, you can tell with what they've done with the show, he's getting the Midlands fighters on the card, which, Cash Ali's a Birmingham man, so I do get it. I mean, I saw a quote from Frank Warren that said, Cash Ali snapped my hand off for the fight. Well, of course he's going to. But, everyone would expect that Joyce will do a routine job on him, but you just never know. What has Joyce got left?
Yeah, it could be a case, of them two fights against Zhang has taken, a bit out of him. You don't know. Is that desire still there? Is the hunger still there?
Yeah.
He's no spring chicken now, is there? So I guess there's a bit of interest in that. But looking at the fights, I thought all the fights were pretty decent, and I thought, well, that's a bit of a funny one, that one. So
yeah, with because of what the card is, with the fights they've got announced. Being as someone who's going to attend the show, I look at it and think, I'm happy to see Joe Joyce on the card.
Yeah.
Even if he knocks Cash Ali out in 2-3 rounds, for the other fights that make up the card, that's sort of like a card filler for me type of fight.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to go that show. I'm looking forward.
That's good. Yeah, but looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Moving on, who was your fighter of the month in January?
I think you've got to go recently to what we've seen with Munguia against John Ryder. For me, it was a brilliant performance.
Yeah.
And, fantastic fight as well. I mean, Canelo, hit Ryder with the kitchen sink and he couldn't put him away. And Munguia have done an absolute phenomenal job on him. But I think you've got to say big credit to John Ryder as well. He's a warrior, isn't he? The way he takes the punishment he does, he keeps coming back.
Yeah,
brilliant fight.
yeah, absolutely. And you think Ryder's, he's boxed away from home in both those fights. So against obviously lots of pro Mexican fans there, and I thought Munguia is pretty awesome. He'd done the thing what Canelo couldn't do,
Exactly.
and stop Ryder. And I think even I mentioned it in the show last week how much of a statement Oscar De La Hoya made. He actually quoted that, what a statement that would make in that fight in stopping Ryder, because Ryder's tough, isn't he? So we know that.
He's a warrior, and I was going to say Munguia as well. Not everyone was absolutely certain he was going to win that fight. Some people were making, ex-boxers and boxers were making a case for John Ryder. And the way he took him apart and dismantled him, that's why I say he's the fight of the month for me. Just recently, in memory, to actually see that fight, and thought, when I watched it, I thought, he's got to be the fighter of the month already, for what he showed in that fight.
Yeah,
brilliant.
And I guess it makes a change for us to see it's obviously a golden boy fighter as well, getting that sort of highlight rather than like a matchroom, boxer, Queensberry fighter. We're actually giving that award to a golden boy fighter, golden boy promotion. Yeah. So
just gotta say it as you see
it. Yeah, exactly. The fight of the month for you and Jam. What was that one for you, Darren?
I was going to actually give this one to Munguia and Ryder as well, but I think we've got to give it to Natasha Jonas and Michaela Mayer.
Yeah.
It went the distance, toe to toe, back and forth for 10 rounds. And I've already said this to a lot of people as well. I definitely think the 2-minute rounds help the women with how exciting the fights are. But it was a brilliant fight, and the crowd helped it as well. I thought the atmosphere of what I've seen on TV looked electric. Yeah. And the only thing it lacked was probably like a knockdown or a couple of knockdowns in the fight. But the action, you couldn't fault it.
Good.
Brilliant fight.
Well, I just showed you that image of Tasha taking the right hand there for Mayer. Obviously, we can talk about the outcome. There's a controversy question that I always ask it on the part of the show anyway. With regards to yourself, then, who would be the promoter of the month and why?
I think you've got to go with Eddie Earn for probably the schedule that he's released of late.
Yeah,
I mean, you spoke about the fights that are coming up, but we've got a cracker also coming up in Jordan Gill versus Alpha Barrett. We've got that coming up as well, that he also announced in Manchester.
Yeah.
You've got the Dalton Smith Cepeda, Sandy Ryan and Terry Harper. That schedule he released as well, all in one day.
Yeah.
Like, no one was everyone was waiting for the schedule, but I don't think with what's going on with the Saudi cards, I know obviously they're not on that part, like that level, but with the UK cards he's brought out here now, I think he's got to be promoted of the month for the way he's just suddenly brought the fights out. Some great fights.
Yeah, I saw a bit of negative feedback from fans. They're kind of like saying these fights, wouldn't make main events. Some of them, they prefer maybe quality over quantity, but you can't please everyone, can you? Really?
The thing is, right, Steve, is like when we're not living in the times of Matchroom and Eddie Earn being on Sky, when they were mainly the ones sort of taking over type of thing. You've got all sorts of rivalries now, all sorts of competition. You've got the guys from Saudi that's coming, and the lot of the massive fights are going there. For what we wanted decent quality British cards, and the Sheffield one's definitely one.
Yeah.
The only thing I would question is the Jordan Gill one against Alpha Barrett. I don't really get why they're going the AO Arena with that. I mean, Rihanna Dixon's on the undercard. That's a good fight, but I don't. Are they going to stack that card up? I take it.
What are you saying in ticket sales? You don't think it would sell well as the AO Arena?
Well, I think it holds 19 or 21,000. I'm led to believe in the bottom tier is 9 or 10,000. I can't see it selling the bottom tier out. Great fight. The main event's a great fight. But like you said about criticism, I've seen some people saying to that fight, surely this is an undercard fight. Whereas I think they could have put it in a smaller arena, but I have seen Matchroom already say that, you know, we haven't been able to get arenas. We wanted to get 2,000 arenas, was too small. So they've gone to the AO arena with it, but it could struggle, that could.
Yeah, it could just be a case of maybe the bottom tier they open for, like they've done sometimes at the O2 rather than open the higher tiers. But we've seen it recently, just this weekend, the Belfast card that was quite a small venue, but I thought it was great to be honest with you. I thought the atmosphere was brilliant there. So
you don't always need big arenas, but what you need is like what I don't like, just talking as from a fan's perspective. You know, if you've got, say, the bottom tier open, which holds 10,000 people, the last thing you want to see is half the arena like empty.
Yeah,
that's the you know, that Belfast card that suited the fights for what it was. But I just hate seeing empty seats either.
Yeah, that's the worst thing as well when you see it on TV as well. I know there's lots of talk about blackout curtains and stuff like that. I've seen it before when they've used them in fights. But yeah, that's the worst thing. I think Wasserman had a couple of stinkers as well. I saw on Channel 5 and they sort of panned around. There's so many empty seats. You just felt sorry, you know, for the card and the promotions there. So, but like I said, you got to make the fights. You got to make it appealing. You know, people are spending their hard-earned money on these tickets, so you got to make it worth these guys. You know,
more now than ever.
Yeah,
we're in a time now more now than ever. And like I say, you can't really. I don't really. You know, I've said Eddie earns promoter of the month. Matchrooms. You know, I think they've done a great job with that schedule so far for what we're having in Saudi. You know, we've had a good card announced from Frank Warren, but the way Eddie released that all in one day, there is some real good fights to get excited about.
Yeah, I agree. With going back to controversy, obviously, what would you say your controversy moment of the month was?
I've had this debate with a few people about the Jonas and Mayer fight.
Yeah.
There's big controversy around it as regards the scoring and how the fight went, and Tasha got it being the home fighter.
Yeah.
So I think that's got to be the biggest controversy of the month. The only thing I would say as regards my opinion on it is I don't think it was a robbery like some people are saying.
No.
I could have had it a draw, possibly 1-2 rounds to Maya. But a robbery for me is 5 rounds different apart. I didn't see it like that. I didn't see anything like that. I thought it was very back and forth, and there was some real tight rounds which could have gone either way. Yeah,
watching it live myself, I gave it a couple to Maya on the night. I remember, but obviously a few drinks in, mind you, so scoring can go a bit skew-ish sometimes. But it's hard to score. You're talking about 10 2-minute rounds. So, you know, the judges are in place. You know, they've got the best view there, haven't they? So, and give Tasha a due. You know, when you're the home fighter, that's normally maybe a gimme for a couple of rounds anyway, if you ask me. If you're the away fighter, you know you're going to have to make it clear on the cards to take that title and win the fight, really. So,
well, I've seen Joe Gallagher said, I think it was on TalkSport, that you've got to snatch the title away from the.
Exactly.
You know, I do agree with that to a little bit, but I think if you're the better fighter, you should win the fight anyway, whether a home or away advantage. But for me, there was a hell of a lot of tight rounds where they could have gone either way. Like it wasn't as conclusive where some people were seeing it. I mean, I watched the fight back twice. Yeah. Because when I saw, I didn't watch it live. I come back, caught up with it, and I saw I caught some things on Twitter. People going, "Oh, robbery." And when I watched the fight back, I didn't see what people were seeing, and then I watched it back again the next day and a couple of days after that, and I thought I still don't see the robbery that people are talking about. A draw could have been a fair result, could have been Maya 1-2 rounds, but I didn't see it. Like a robbery for me is when you go like, oh, they've easily won that fight. That wasn't for me. It wasn't like that for me at all.
Like proper clear rounds, because like you said,
clear rounds,
most rounds were close,
very competitive.
So yeah,
very competitive, backwards and forwards, and very exciting to watch. So that's what the fight of the month for me. Brilliant fight.
Yeah, that's a good choice. What is your tweet of the week? We changed this from tweet of the month, but we're going more current, so we're going to go tweet of the week this time.
It's the what was it? It's the IFL one, wasn't it? About
it's this one.
I mean,
Ben versus Dobson will be the broadcast time. Well, coincidentally, it's the same time that the boxer card is on Saturday, believe it or not.
I mean, IFL can be controversial with some of the stuff they put on. The reason why I think it's the tweet of the week is like, how can they compare Conor Benn against Dobson to Buatsi and Aziz and go, which one will you be watching? I think 99% of boxing fans will pick Joshua Buatsi against Dan Aziz. That is the fight that we all want to see. Conor Benn versus Dobson, in all honesty, I'm a massive boxing fan like you. I've got pretty much zero interest in it. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, the same. If you notice, I've not really touched on the Conor Benn fight. Obviously, in the review of the Buatsi and Aziz fight, we spoke about it as a controversial. But if you check my feed, I don't really touch on Conor Benn at the moment until he's proper cleared, if you ask me, by the British Boxing Board, and then
I feel the same.
We can get behind him and support him a bit more once things have been cleared and reinstated there. But do you think? I know this is probably not Eddie though. Eddie must know there's a good card on Saturday with Boxer, and he's thinking, I know I didn't arrange the times in Vegas on purpose to get Conor Benn on the same time. Surely not.
Well, I think some. I quoted that tweet today, and someone put to me about the times of the fight and that, and it's 4:30
in Vegas,
or 2:30 in Vegas. 2:30, I think it is in Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Who fights at 2:30 in the day? Like, I know it's for the British audience, but what are they expect? They must be expecting massive figures on the zone for this fight to actually arrange all this the way they've done. Baffling to me.
Well, you think the money, the production costs, the broadcasting costs, the attendance, the fans there. It'd be interesting to see how many people are actually there for it. Anyway,
definitely. So. Well, I have actually thought this as well, because when you look at the card as well, Johnny Fisher's on it.
Yeah, I like.
It's not a fantastic card. Yeah, I do, and I'm interested. I'm interested to see how he gets on, but the card still isn't great. But
no,
Buatsi Aziz, 99% of fans will be watching that over Conor Benn. Yeah. And we'll only, like you say, most boxing fans. I was behind if Conor Benn fought Eubank. We're all boxing fans, British boxing fans. We'd be over that fight, even with the controversy. We would be. But who's got interest against Dobson, who he should absolutely steamroller?
Yeah.
It's just for me baffling.
Yeah, I thought it was crazy. And when you pointed out this tweet of almost saying, "Yeah, we got this on at prime time. You can watch it." And if you're right in what you're saying, if you're a boxing fan. A proper boxing fan, you'd be watching boxers cards. You won't be watching this, will you? There's no way.
Yeah, well, what I was going to say to you is everything boxing. Answered someone in my tweet saying that the times aren't going to clash, so just sit back. You can watch both. So apparently it's not. I know. So because someone said about the only people who are like this fight is everything boxing, and then they actually commented back. And they actually commented back and said, well, you can watch both because they're not going to clash. But they're trying to say that, like, you know, Conor Benn's a big name and everyone will be watching this fight. Well,
yeah,
it's a dire fight. And like you say, we wouldn't be having this problem if he didn't have to go to America because of his situation here. It needs clearing up.
Yeah, 100%.
Massively needs clearing up.
100% that. Yeah, totally agree. In saying that, I'll probably watch the boxer card on Saturday night, obviously live, and then maybe scroll through social media, see if anyone picks up on the Conor Benn, and then if not, I may just switch over and see what happens. I don't know. So
you know what's going to happen after all this now? We're slating this. Ben and Dobson's going to be fight of the year or something.
Yeah, and Aziz and Buatsi is going to be terrible. It's going to be a hug
Yeah,
fest,
be a stinker, yeah.
Yeah,
probably, yeah.
We just cursed it now, haven't we?
Yeah.
So,
don't rule it out.
Yeah, don't rule anything out in boxing nowadays, do you? Really? So yeah, you wait for it. I'll be doing February's roundup show with you, and you'd be saying, "What's your fight of the month?" And you go, "Yeah, Ben Dobson."
Ben Dobson,
awesome.
Yeah.
I doubt it, but you never know, do you? So you never know. I know we touched on the new announcements of schedules, but looking ahead, just for February, it's set for obviously Ben versus Dobson. What fight are you looking forward to the most in Feb?
Well, we've got the big one, of course, Fury Usyk. Oh, I'm really excited for that one.
It's good. Ring of Fire.
Yeah, Ring of Fire. Yeah, great name. I can't wait. I can't wait for that fight. You've also got is it Apataya Breedis two's on that fight?
Yeah, that's good.
On that card.
I'm happy with that.
And then we've got obviously Buatsi Aziz this weekend. I'm expecting a very good fight there. My prediction on that would be Buatsi on points.
Oh, sneaky! I didn't even ask you, and you got your prediction.
I know, yeah, but I just thought I'd get that one in.
Well, you agree with Tom then. Tom went that way. He went points for Buatsi, but me, I'm a big Dan the Man Aziz fan. My heart says him, but obviously my head says Buatsi. So
I love. You know what? I got to agree with you. I love Dan Aziz. I love the way he's in the ring. I love his fighting style, and he'll definitely bring it. But I just feel Buatsi will probably nick it closely. And then after that, we've got the week after we've got Hamza Shiraz, Liam Williams.
Yep.
I'm looking
cracker of a fight. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good test for Hamza Shiraz. That one, see what Williams has got left. I mean, he is saying, I don't probably expect it anyway, but he is talking about, if I lose this fight, it could be the end for me. When fighters start saying to that, you do think, well, is it his last payday? Or...
Yeah, didn't Williams go in retirement before though, and then he changed his mind, I think. So
yeah, he did. Yeah, but I'll probably expect Hamza Shiraz to win, but I think Williams will give him a tough fight.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that, and then we've got the week after. We've got the Fury Usyk card. I mean, the main event speaks for itself. I'm looking forward to seeing Apatay and Brady's. Kovalev's coming back. What he's got left, nobody knows.
Yeah,
and I believe Cordina and Kakachi's on that card, but there's not a lot of promotion for that.
Okay.
I checked Box Rec earlier, and it's still saying the fight's on the card, but I'm seeing absolutely zero about it.
It's been quiet, yeah. So
very quiet.
That's interesting. So that may not be there then.
Well, I saw a few people asking the questions on Twitter as well, saying, "Is this fight on?" And there was some interview, I believe it might have been with Frank Smith or something, where he was saying the fight's still not signed.
Yeah.
So we're not long out now.
Yeah, I was going to say that's unlikely. I assume both are in training camps. Obviously, training or showing signs of training. Then I'm guessing.
Well, you'd like to think so, at least, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, the Fury Usyk card for me is the one I'm most excited about. But the two big fights before that, leading up to it, really, Hamza Shiraz, Liam Williams, and Buatsi Aziz this weekend. Really good fights. Yeah,
it's a good month, isn't it? Feb for boxing.
Yeah,
really, like I said, obviously the big one, unification fight, heavyweight. We've been waiting years for obviously a unified champ for a while. So if any boxing fan, you got to be looking forward to that, haven't you? To see unified champ in the heavyweight division anyway. So
I'm looking forward to the build up as well. That will be coming very soon. When you see more head to heads and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's not just the fight, the build up to it. And me and you've spoke before. We believe it when we see them in the ring.
Yeah.
I am thinking it's definitely happening this time.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, fingers crossed it's happening. But yeah, well, that's it for another Jan Roundup show with Darren. Appreciate you coming on, Darren. It's been brilliant to hear all your feedback, and hopefully Feb will bring some good fights, some talking points. Well, there's going to be loads of talking points, and maybe that Conor Benn and Dobson fight will be fight of the month next month. But we'll wait and see, and all will be revealed anyway. So, but I appreciate the time, Darren. Thanks for coming on.
No worries, mate.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Cheers.
Thank you. Talk.